Brand Power Direct, I am Red Butler, and as usual, we got it for you for the culture. But before I go, listen, please, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe, like, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here for you. Branding is all about perception, and we're helping you create yours. So don't forget to hit that button and get the notifications all the time. But check this out, man. Kanye West. You know, what I'm going to do is this, right? First of all, before I go into what I'm about to go into, I appreciate individualized artists. I like artists that don't care about what you think at any time you're thinking it. I like artists that sometimes are going for the shock and awe factor if it makes artistic sense. And here's where the polarization resides for Mr. West. Kanye West and his wife, Bianca Censori, graced the red carpet of the Grammys. You know, the Grammys where Kendrick Lamar swept the entire show, and They Not Like Us, a song that dissed and took out somebody in Canada, literally became the anthem of the year, cemented by the Academy. But at any rate, Kanye West and Bianca Censori were not inside the building and noticed that, even though they walked the red carpet. Now, why is that? Simple. He let her show her whole ass to the world. And it ain't the first time. Bianca Censori, at the direction of her husband, wore a fur coat, turned around to the camera gaze of all the media in the world, and at some point looked at her husband and he said, "Let the coat drop, shock and awe." I'm embellishing a little, but that's what he said. And I actually was a lip reader that has a whole article. You can look it up, and they watched what he said by the lip movement. But at any rate, when she dropped the fur coat, she had on a sheer, I want to say like a mini dress, but it was sheer, like the emperor has no clothes. In this case, the empress had no clothes. She was butt ass. And then she turned around. Not a pasty was in sight. Completely, totally naked. Bucket naked. We got to talk about this. Because I wanted you to understand something. In the world of branding and marketing, sensationalism is a tactic, but this is something different. We're going to call it avant-garde branding. Now, you might say, Rhett, what is avant-garde branding? Well, let's first start with avant-garde. I'm going to look this up for you just so I can get it right. Completely right. 1 second here. Avant-garde. The definition of avant-garde is a French term that translates to vanguard, advance guard. It's commonly used in English, British, and German to describe people, or works that are experimental, innovative, and push boundaries, especially in art and culture. Let's go deeper. In art, it refers to artist movements or artworks that break with tradition and are considered innovative. So I ask you, the public, if you go to the Grammys with your wife and she wears an Empress Has No Clothes outfit, is that innovation or is that sensationalism for sensationalism's sake? Now, as a brand manager, what I'll say is this. If I'm looking to create headlines for my client, I can't tell anybody's wife to get naked next to their husband. But what I can say is it will have an effect that will touch everybody's phone in the world. So for that, good job, Mr. West. But I will say the following. When it's absent of an actual promotion of the product or a service, now what we're talking about is avant-garde branding. Because is it innovation for innovation's sake and polarization for polarization's sake with nothing to be gained from it? Or are we doing something that has not yet been understood and it is the breadcrumbs towards a project? Now, I'll say this. What they did was actually a throwback. Kanye had an album called Vultures 1, I believe, and on the cover, Bianca Censori, his wife, had her back to the cover of the album, and she had a like a loincloth, so to speak. It wasn't like a true thong, but it was like a loincloth covering her butt, but you can basically see her butt. And Kanye had on all black, which he also had on the red carpet at the Grammys, but he had on a hockey mask. Nobody knows, and this is all speculative, if that was a throwback to that and they were trying to showcase that in real time, since the Vultures album cover was done obviously in a photo studio. But what we do know is that all the time, Kanye and his Australian wife have no problem showcasing her body in public. They did so at a restaurant, I believe, in Paris. I mean, sorry, in Italy, and then different places where they pop up at. They normally like to showcase her for various reasons. All of them unknown, and he has not spoken on it. But he does not do the same. The emperor has clothes, but the empress does not. What we know about artists like Kanye West that are so polarizing is that he's gonna push the envelope in places you never thought and do things you don't understand. But this is for the culture. So let's talk about what the culture's saying, i.e. old black Twitter. Some people are starting to look at this as Kanye's get back to white supremacy. Now let's think about that for a minute. People are actually rationalizing that a man wants to expose his wife sexually to get back at white men's gaze, I guess, on what, blackness and black bodies, specifically black femininity. I don't know, but I will say this as a brand marketer and strategist. If that's the case, this is the most convoluted and I don't want to say uninspired, but it's the most convoluted methodology to come to an impact point culturally that I've ever seen. I would state that from the outset so people know what they're looking at if this is an actual thing. But Kanye is an artist, and nuance and the details are where the art resides. So I don't know what's happening here, folks. But what I do know is with Kanye West, you will receive a spectacle. Ask Taylor Swift. The Grammy moments have always been big for him. And what we know is if that's his stage and his moment, expect more bucket naked. Brand Power Direct, keep tuning in. Again, please like, subscribe, comment. We're here for you.